Hey guys, so long time no upload. So my little guy was born just a couple of days before his due date. Hallelujah, because as you all know, I was so done with being pregnant. I'm currently in his nursery. He's sleeping in a pack and play in my bedroom. So if you see a crib with blankets and the things, then sorry. So I asked you guys on Instagram what kind of video you would rather see, something baby related or something modesty related. And for the most part, you guys said modesty, which I do not blame you because for the past like 3 months, all my channel has been me being pregnant or saying baby related stuff, so I don't blame you. Now, if you've been on my channel for like more than 5 seconds, you have probably noticed that I talk a lot about modesty. I just think it's really cool that our wardrobe, like what we wear, is more than just something to keep us warm, that it can like show your personality and your beliefs and it has meaning. But I realized that even though I have all of these modesty videos, I don't really have one where I just sit down and I talk about why I dress modestly. So I thought I would do that today. Now, I'm sorry if I talk kind of fast. I don't know how long I have because how long a nap is a variable. I also might add text somewhere on the screen because I just want to make sure I say everything that I want to. Also, quick disclaimer, I'm saying why I dress modestly. This is literally why I dress modestly. This isn't because of like my religion or something. I don't know. Someone can twist it, I'm sure, into something it's not, but really this is just why I personally dress modest. So the best way for me to explain why I dress modestly is through an analogy. Now, analogies and religious topics can either go really awesome or really bad. So before I get to that, I just want to say I have seen so many analogies comparing like your value to an object or something when that is not true. That is so ridiculous to me. Like your worth, it would literally be the most boring chart in the world because your value is a straight line and it's set at infinite. God is not going to love you less because you wore a tank top or because you said a swear word. When it comes to analogies that are like,
your virtue is like a flower, and the more kisses that you give away, you lose petals, and nobody wants a stem.
I'm sorry, but that's wrong. That door is open. I just realized, and you know what? I'm gonna leave it open because I'm tired. So why I dress modestly? The best comparison is to compare modesty to a wedding ring. You guys know that I'm married and I wear my wedding ring for 2 major reasons. Now obviously there's more, but for the sake of the analogy, we're gonna say 2. So number 1, I wear it to show my husband, hey, I'm committed to you, I love you, hey, I am devoted to you, only you, we are married, we're gonna be married forever. Now, the second reason why I wear my wedding ring is to show the world and, you know, people who I associate with that I'm married and, you know, like, don't mess with me. What I mean is, you know, don't flirt with me, don't flirt with me, don't try to tempt me or anything like that because I'm devoted to someone else, and that is where my commitment is to someone else, and so much so that I'm willing to show everyone, like, hey, I am really in love, I'm really married. So how that works with modesty is the first reason, comparing it to showing your husband that you're devoted to him. I dress modestly because I want to show God I'm committed to you. Now, of course, there are multiple ways to show your commitment, like through what you say, how you act. Definitely more than just your clothing, but I feel like God has sacrificed so much for me. I can add on one little thing to show my commitment to him. Now, the second reason of, you know, showing the world that I'm married, let's be real here, it's not popular to be modest. The world does not put modest people on a pedestal. If you dress modestly, you're kind of seen as weird. I mean, to be the only person at prom who isn't wearing a strapless dress, you're kind of weird, you're sticking out. And I'm showing God, number 1, I'm willing to be weird. Like, I do not need the world's approval. I would rather show you my commitment. To sum up that analogy, basically the best way for me to explain it is I find modesty to be an outward expression of my inward commitment. So my commitment with God, I am willing to physically show him and physically show the world. I don't do this to be, you know, holier than thou. I'm not walking around saying like, oh, I can see your belly button, mine's covered because I'm holy. That is so far from my purpose in dressing modestly. But I do feel like God recognizes the sacrifice for being modest and he appreciates that. That is just one more way that I can show I'm committed to him, then I will do it. Hopefully that all makes sense. Now, that's like the big reason to why I dress modestly. Of course, there are other reasons why I dress modestly, and they're just kind of added perks. And I kind of want to touch on that for just a second. Oh, there's a scary old man. Okay, he didn't see me. I have seen a lot of these kind of videos where, you know, a young woman sits down and bears their testimony of modesty. A lot of times, those young women, a large part of their testimony for being modest is because they do not want to, I guess, tempt young men. I've heard it said that they don't want to be responsible for a young man's impure thoughts. If you cannot tell, this really bothers me. Because we all have agency, and if a guy has an impure thought because he saw my belly button, then that's on him. He has his own agency, and, you know, come judgment day, God is going to sit down with that man and say, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you, XYZ, you could have to avoided this thought. He's not going to come to me and be like, Timmy sinned because he saw your belly button. No, he has his own agency. He chose to sin. Now I might get judged, for showing off all my goods, and that is just a separate case. Now it's awesome that modesty can help prevent men from having impure thoughts, or anyone from having impure thoughts, but that should not be a sole reason for your testimony of modesty, because we all have agency. And if someone is going to sin, they're going to sin. You having a sleeve that's this long versus this long isn't going to be a huge contributor to someone's well-being. So yes, that's a perk, but it should not be like, the cornerstone to your beliefs. Now another perk to why I dress modestly, and this was a lot bigger of a reason when I was like 16, 17, and that is just, I guess you could say, convenience. And I know I just said like it's easier to be immodest, and that's true. Like think about cost, availability, things like that. Like going to the mall, you're gonna have a hard time finding a modest outfit. That's just how it is. It's kind of hard. What I mean by that though is, like, I remember being in high school and hanging out with my friends. I was just a total spaz. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I was bouncing off the walls, goofing around with all my friends. And I remember doing that and seeing my friends also want to have a good time, also wanting to joke around, but then they would be like pulling up their shirt or pulling down their skirt, or they would be asking me like, Anna, can you see my bra through this? And it just kind of takes the fun out of it for a kid. Like, the last thing I want to be thinking about when I'm at a bonfire with my friends is if my midriff is showing. It's just not really worth it to me. So when I was younger, that was kind of a big part to why I dress modestly, was just because I didn't want to have to deal with that. I also am just like, even though I'm not a spaz, I am just a private person. And yes, I do make videos and I put them on the internet, but I don't want everyone seeing my goods. I remember re-filming an entire video, this is when I was like 16, because you could see my bra strap. Now we all know what bra straps look like, but I just didn't want that on the internet. I don't know. I'm kind of just a private person in that sense. So that is just another bonus to modesty for me. Now there are like a million reasons to why I dress modest. I just thought today I would share with you the big chunk. So basically, I dress modestly because that's how I show my commitment to God. If that's something I can do to show that, I mean business in a sense, that I am serious about the gospel, then that's what I'll do. It cracks me up when I get hate on my modesty videos, because I just feel like if that's how I personally show God that I'm committed to him and that I love him and respect him and I respect the body he gave me, then who are you to say that it's weird or unnecessary? Like, that's how I decide to do that. So I know this video is kind of rambly. Again, I just don't know how long my lovely son will sleep, so I'm kind of rushing it. I hope you guys got something out of this. Feel free to comment down below why you dress modestly or what your modesty standards are. I know a lot of people feel differently about what is considered modest versus immodest, so I would really like to know your standards. Shameless plug here, follow me on Instagram, because since I can't really make videos as easily, I'm being more active on Instagram. So I'm asking you guys polls and really stepping up my game. I'm gonna have a theme. So I hope you guys like this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and thank you so much for sticking with me while I was miserable and pregnant and all I could do was complain. Thank you for that, and thank you for waiting for me to upload. I know I don't have a consistent schedule. Maybe someday I will. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.